the year, the NBA treats its coaches horribly. I mean, every time you win Coach of the Year, it just means you're 2 years away from being fired. That you think the NFL moves off their coaches. The NBA, not only does it move off its coaches, they have no power when they coach. Steve Kerr's in a very unique situation where he and the best player are really, really tight, and that they built a culture in San Francisco with Dre and Clay and Steph. Everybody's got Kerr's back. He can bark at him. It works. It's rare. So now everybody wants to get rid of Steve Nash in Brooklyn, and I do think he was out-coached. But Kevin Durant said, oh boy, it hasn't been easy here.
Steve's been dealt a crazy hand the last 2 years. Like, he's had to deal with so much stuff as a head coach, first-time coach, and trades, injuries, COVID, just a lot of stuff he had to deal with. And I'm proud of how he just focused on his passion for us. And, we all, continue to keep developing over the summer and see what happens.
So I know Steve. He's one of the smartest guys that's ever played in the NBA. Super bright, quick learner. If you just take a step back, his first year, he dealt with injuries to both KD and Kyrie. This year, he had his second-best player, couldn't play home games, and James Harden quit on the team. Both years got him to the playoffs. So outside of the Lakers, and maybe counting the Lakers, it's the highest maintenance team in the league. You got Vax issues. You've got Ben Simmons issues. You got a player quit issue. No Lakers are quitting. It's a mess. Now, if you're Steve Nash's agent or Steve Nash, you can say, okay, find a comparable mess in this league. I got players quitting. I got players that won't play. I got guys that won't get vaxxed. I think the Lakers are all vaxxed, I think. In L.A., you could still have played. In New York, you couldn't. It's a mess. And he could make this argument. Last year, with no bench, no Kyrie, and no real size to match up with Giannis, they came within a foot of getting to the Eastern Conference Finals. Remember this play? Kevin Durant shoots that ball. We think it's a 3. If this counts as a 3, it's an inch. If that's a 3, they can get to the Eastern Conference Finals. It's ruled a 2, appropriately ruled a 2. So the argument for Steve Nash is, did he get out-coached in the Boston series? Yes, he did. Badly. But he's dealing with a lot. The Nets have no continuity. So you want to blow the staff up and do it again? KD likes him. I mean, I'll say this about Steve. Incredibly high emotional quotient. Like, he really has never, gone sideways with this mess. Think a little bit about Eric Spoelstra. So Eric Spoelstra worked in a tape room for years. Then he was on the bench and his assistant. And then he got the Miami job, and people are like, who's Eric Spoelstra? And with Dwayne Wade in his prime, in a bad division and a really weak conference, first 2 years with D. Wade, one and done. And the East was weak, one and done. Then he gets the best player in the world, easily LeBron, with Dwayne Wade, and they get a 25-10 guy, Chris Bosh, and they look like they get totally flummoxed in the finals against a one-star Dallas Maverick team. Nobody got fired. It's just like, do you think Spoelstra is smart? Yeah. Do you think he'll get better? Yeah. And today I'd make an argument Spoelstra is as good as any coach in the league. I mean, there's certainly, my guys are all like, that's the guy. So, I mean, is Steve Nash smart? Yeah. Is Eric Spoelstra smart? Yeah. Can they get better? Yeah. Does Nash have the appropriate experience? No. But, this is a franchise that's got no continuity. We talk about this with the Lakers all the time. Okay, fire Vogel. What are you on, your fifth coach in 12 years? I mean, at some point, you can keep blaming the coach. So, I mean, I kind of look at this stuff. It's not a very attractive job. The Celtics, attractive job. They don't run through coaches. You had a star in Jason Tatum who's just going into his prime. I've got Jaylen Brown and Marcus Smart. Those dudes play hard every night. And it's an organization that has a history of drafting well. Brad Stevens in the front office. You trust his brain power. So, I thought Nash got out coached. Yeah, it was, it was his second year. And I think the more experienced coach in Boston who spent more years on the bench, and by the way, used to coach in Brooklyn, so knows all about KD, they attacked him the right way. But I don't know what Brooklyn's going to get. Because I got to tell you right now, you're going to inherit the Kyrie contract potentially, Ben Simmons, and that ain't great. I mean, I contend the only way to solve this is for Kevin Durant to go upstairs and come to a kind of a resolution with the owner and the GM and just say, we got to move off Kyrie. We just can't do this. I'm not going to do this again. I can't go into a season with Ben Simmons question marks and Kyrie's kind of lack of dependability. Can't do it. So that's where you're at. I will say this about the Sixers situation. It's kind of funny. So I like Philadelphia to win this series. I thought it was going to be at one point a sweep. And then Embiid's got a banged up thumb. And the questions are mostly about James Harden, what to do. Well, what's happened to James Harden is all the conversations now are becoming what James Harden used to be and what James Harden used to do. And we've got to be honest here. That's not what he is right now. He partied hard. He closed the nightclubs. And that's fine. He's got that right. He's also made, between shoe deals and contracts, about $300 to $400 million. He's good. He's got a scoring title. He's been in the MVP conversation. Does he have an MVP? May not. I forget. I don't keep too much track. But, he's had a great life. He is not the player he was a couple years ago, but he plays hard. He shows up. He gives you 18, and he can facilitate. But there's an argument to be made that's pretty clear that Tyrese Maxey's an ascending player and really good, really fast, and has exploded since the trade deadline. He didn't average much last year. He was really good early. Now he's exceptional. And we thought when Harden came over, it was going to be Joel Embiid 1 and then James Harden 1B. And what we're finding is James Harden this morning is the 3. Embiid's the 1, Maxey's the 2, and Embiid's the 3. And that's the reality of it. So if you kind of look at what Harden is, how you live your life will eventually catch up to you. Some age well, some age quickly. And, I think we all, Joel Embiid talked after the game, hey, I need more from James Harden. This kind of may be it. As Maxey is ascending, this may be it. 18.5 and facilitate. Here's Embiid.
I've been saying all season since he got here, he just needs to be aggressive and he needs to be himself. That's not really my job. That's probably on coach to, talk to him and tell him to, take more shots.
The other thing is, at his peak, we talk about this with Deebo Samuel, he plays hard, and the Niners lean into that physical style. James Harden at his peak was playing every night, ISO basketball, drawing contact to get to the free throw line. It was a physical game. He has a big kind of round body. He liked the physicality. He wanted you. It's the opposite of the Ja Morant body. He would rather avoid contact. James leaned into it for 7-8 years. And it just looks like he's aged really fast. So can they win with him being the third best player on this team? Yeah, I don't think it's the end of the world. I think the injury to Embiid concerns me more about Harden being the 3 on this team. That's what really concerns me. But Maxey has become really good, really fast. He's exploding. And right now, he's there too. And it's not close. He's there too. He's a better defensive 2. He's a twitchier 2. He's a more athletic 2. He's a more energized 2. And right now, he's scoring like a 2. Greg Olson around the corner. I've been with CarShield for a long time, several years. And there's